So yes, just want to pick back off from where I left off last time. Again, this talk of consistency, yes, it works, but it has to be something that's going to not only attract the people, but keep the people. And let me just say this and add this also as an aside note. Don't sell your soul for this social media. Don't, and I know everybody's not doing it, but just want to add that in. Don't sell your soul for social media. I saw one lady that was talking about, she was doing motivation speak. She was going to do, her channel was basically about motivation, something like mine, but she said she's just going to go ahead and just turn around and do gossip because that's where the money is at. That's where the funds are at. That's where people are drawn. And this is what people want to see more of. Don't do that. Don't do that because at the end, yeah, you don't know what's going to come with. Yeah, you might get something that's quicker. Yeah, you might get the audience. Yeah, you might get, and even with that, that's still the process. But you got to think about it. That's not worth you not getting no sleep at night if you that kind of person. Um, that's not worth compromising your values and morals. And I know people are so tired of probably hearing it, but you know what? It's not said enough. I don't even know how they could be tired of hearing it especially when it's not said enough. Do not compromise. Don't go out here and compromise your morals, your values, the things that you know, that you hold close to your heart, and you're willing to compromise that because this route, no, this way, this twisted, because you're gonna have some different paths, you're gonna have some different roads, and guess what? That road that seems easier, that seems better, that seems greener, a lot of times you don't know what that road is going to really take you through. So even if you may benefit off of it, and even if you may get all the things that you so-called desire, it's going to come with something. It's going to come with something that you're going to wish that it didn't come with. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what type of spiritual warfare that's going to come with that. That's connected. This spiritual warfare that's going to be connected to almost anything that you do and that you've been assigned to do in this earth. But when you take that route of, I'm going to take the shortcut, I'm going to take the easy way out because me doing the right thing feels like it just doesn't pay off. And I heard, and I think I saw in the chat, she said that no one wants to be motivated. That's not true. And listen, I'm not going to sit up in here and lie. There's been plenty of times where I was contemplating, well, it's like, man, do people want to be motivated? It's like, you got this page, you had it since 2015, but it hasn't grown. It hasn't shown, it hasn't. And again, I don't want to hear, oh, it's consistency, because I can drop about 10 videos each week and it still may not hit a certain amount of views, or it still may not hit. I could have the baddest thumbnail and it still may not get, and it's not me sounding negative, so it's just kind of like, again, what is it that I can do that's different, still staying in the same lane, but what can I do to kind of like re-strategize? What can I do? And if this doesn't work out, let me try something different. But don't give in. Don't give in to what the enemy wants you to give into, because that seems more promising. It seems more flashier. It seems like it's going to come a little bit more quicker. It's going to come a little bit, but you don't know what kind of problems that it's going to come with. I know problems come with everything, but do you really want to deal with them kind? Do you really want to deal with them kind of problems? Is it really worth it? And then when you get to the end of your life and when you speak to them, and I'm not trying to make it sound like somebody, is committing murder because they want to do a gossip channel, but I'm just saying, don't do that. The easy way, let me tell you something, there's always going to be a road. It's always going to be a path that's going to look more easier. It's going to look more better than the one that you're on. It's going to seem like it's more convenient. It's going to seem like it's more better, but do not do that. You still got to hold on. You still got to endure. And I know I know I'm in the last days, and this is not a message that basically is going to tickle your ears, but it's needed. It's well needed. It's well needed. So again, pray. And I know sometimes people say, well, I prayed, I asked. Nothing still happened. Nothing. Consistently seek him. Right? Look how I use that word consistent. Look, consistently seek him. And he gonna tell you it's gonna be something he gonna show you. It's something he gonna use through somebody else. There's many ways that he communicates with you. It may not be just through that one way of just prayer. It might be someone in the family, friends. It might be a TV show. It might be something else. But just keep your ears and your eyes alert. So anyways, not to make this long, not to make this draggy, just want to come up here and just say that remember that the best is still yet to come. And I guess the whole point of this podcast basically was the stuff that people are seeing now, people been mentioning and talking about. Because there's people that's being consistent now and that's monetized, but they're talking about they're not getting the same amount of views they've been getting. And they've been doing the same thing. They've been switching some things up, but it's been the same thing. So I'm just saying, do not rely on social media outlets. Yeah, they could be beneficial to your business. They could be, even though I haven't seen the benefits of it yet, but I'm just going to go, I'll just say, it can be beneficial to your business or whatever it is that you're doing. But again, it just had me thinking, and the fact that the other lady was saying that it's just too much competition out here in 2022. So if you're still trying to do things the organic way, without collabing, without, I guess, paying someone for something, and I'm not just talking about a course, but talking about other things as well. She said that you're going to have a hard time. She said, anybody still telling you that consistency and hashtags and thumbnail. She said all of these things that other people, that are saying that it works. She said it's just too much competition out here. And you're going to have to do things a little differently than what you would have done maybe 5 years ago. And that's true. Things are always constantly changing. But I still think you can grow your stuff organically. I know it may be harder, but let me just add that on in there. I think you still can do it. Even though I know a part of me is just like, she kind of telling the truth a little bit, because I did all these things and it still didn't really work. But again, we got to ask God. We got to ask our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We got to ask him what it is that he wants us to do and how he wants us to go about it. Okay? So that's all. This all people complaining about what other smaller content creators what they've been talked about, what they've been mentioned, which was the algorithm. They've been mentioning that, their videos wouldn't get much views, but they was always blamed. Oh, you're not doing enough. Oh, you're not doing this. Oh, but anyway, let me hurry up and get up off of here, because it feels like I could talk about this all night. But I thought it was very interesting to get their insights on what they were talking about on this Facebook thing and Instagram thing, all of this stuff that's affecting them. And they're big on social media, and the fact that they're seeing the effects of their income kind of dwindle, by a fraction, by 50% or probably more, and talk about getting 9 to 5s. Jeez. But I just wanted to say again, don't put all your eggs, all your dependency on these sites, because again, you do not know what can happen. And I just want to just let you know that. And I'm gonna go ahead and go again. This thing been dragged out long enough, and I could really talk about this all night. So hey, but anyways, this is Jordan Sutton. I am the author of Take Back What the Devil Has Stolen from You. And remember that the best is yet to come. Like, share, and subscribe. And click on the links below whenever you get the chance. Some good stuff that's in the description box. And until the next time, God bless. Hey everyone, my name is Jordan Sutton and I'm the author of Take Back What the Devil Has Stolen from You and soon of Vindication, which is on the way, okay? And so I just want to get up here real quick and just to talk about something that I currently been seeing online, something that I've been seeing a whole lot of, reoccurrences of people talking about this subject. And it'll be something a little bit different again than what I'm used to talking about. But I just thought it was important that I just mention it. I have recently been seeing content creators, monetized content creators from Facebook, from Instagram, and YouTube. But not as much on YouTube, but majority of the content creators on Facebook that was like, they had the 35,000 maximum payouts. They were basically getting that. And now what they're talking about is that they're not seeing the same type of money or the amount of money that they once were seeing. And now, in order to get some of these bonuses or in order to get the money that they were used to getting, the ones that had like the maximum payout, it's like they have to work 10 times harder to get what they used to have. But even with them doing that, they're still not seeing the type of money they used to get. And basically what happened is, the reason why I'm talking about this is, it's just like, well, Instagram and Facebook are basically, owned by what, Mark Zuckerberg. And I recently saw a article. It just popped up on my Google feeds, and it was basically stating that he was going to be, I guess, cutting some staff, or he wasn't going to be doing any more hiring for the time being. That's basically what I briefly read, but I'll try to get that article, read more into it there. But it's just basically budget cuts, and it's something that I'm seeing that a lot of companies are doing. Even with Microsoft, they're having layoffs, and I get layoffs and budget cuts aren't really nothing new, but I'm thinking this is what could possibly be one of the things that's affecting people's, I guess, their income. The ones that was making like the maximum payout, because I remember I even with some people on YouTube that was talking about it, that was in the Reels program, that was actually monetized. They were saying that they were noticing each and every time that the checks were getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. Okay. So again, this was coming from monetized content creators. And so recently again, I looked at a YouTuber, and she got about 234,000 subscribers now. And she was basically on YouTube. She was live, I think, on 2 other platforms, and she was at Clubhouse. So she was basically taking calls live, both on Clubhouse and on YouTube. She was on YouTube, but she was taking the calls from Clubhouse, and she was talking to other content creators. And she was basically saying that no matter how many videos that she posts, she's not hardly getting any views for those videos. And she wants to know what's going on. And she says she posts consistently. She says she's doing the same stuff that she always have done. She said it normally didn't take her anything to get the maximum payout. Matter of fact, she said she will pretty much have it within about 5 days. It just took her 5 days just to get whatever she needed to get done and accomplished to get that. But she said that now she's not even hardly pulling no views. She's not even hardly, and then not only that, she's not getting the 35,000. She got 16,000, which is still good. And I ain't gonna lie, this content creator that I watch time to time, I basically watched her when she was on food stamps, when she was, with her, kids and just trying to make it and everything like that. And now the lady has, I ain't gonna lie, she has gotten a whole lot arrogant now. She gotten arrogant. But anyway, that's not what I'm gonna talk about today. That's beside the point right now. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But anyway, she was just talking about how no one's viewing her videos. She's not getting the views she used to get. And she took some other calls as well from other people just to see if they was experiencing the same thing. And so basically the majority of the ones that called in say, yeah, it was affecting them too. They're not getting the views. They're not, the money is not the same. Some of them saying that they are thinking about going back to a regular job, back to a regular 9 to 5, because they're not generating what they once was. And they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same things that they were doing. So she said she has this Facebook group, and what she was recommending the people that was, that's on the Facebook group, she was just recommending them to, make an extra page, and, get that monetized. That could be, additional income. But what one lady said on Clubhouse, excuse me, y'all. One lady said, I be walking when I'm doing this podcast, so maybe I need to stop doing it. But but one lady basically said she didn't want to invest the time into creating a whole nother page if she wasn't going to get any benefit out of it, or her starting over, and she's going to see even less than what she sees now, even on her current page. Basically, she just didn't want to put in the time, the work, the energy, the effort. She didn't want to do all of that if she feels like she's not going to see the results. She just wanted to know, was it worth it? Was it worth going through all of that again? Considering the current page that she has now, with the lack amount of views. And so what they came to the conclusion in the discussion when she was taking the calls, the content creator lady I was looking at, I would say a name, but I don't know. I'll think about it. But she was just saying that, they're going to try to find out what's going on. Maybe it's the algorithm. That's what they were all pretty much suggesting. Maybe it's the algorithm. Maybe there's some things that just switched up. And so she's going to try to study again her analytics and find out how she can max out those bonuses, how she can max everything out again. So the reason why I say all of this, right, it's very funny when monetized content creators use it's the algorithm. Now listen, that may be true. I don't have any. That may be true. But I have an issue when the ones that are not monetized and they are consistent, they do put their best foot forward, and they tell you it's the algorithm. Nobody believes them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think that's fair of you to keep saying it's the algorithm, even though it may be true. But when other people were coming and saying, hey, I'm being consistent, but it's not working. I'm using the proper hashtags, but it's not working. I'm using this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. The 121 things, but it's not working. All some of them used to do was just look at it like they was just doing something wrong. And don't get me wrong, it's always something. What may work for one person may not work for you. So you always have to still find out what works for you. And so with that just being said, when I'm hearing now, when people saying that the algorithm changed, it's like, okay, but y'all wasn't hearing that when the people who wasn't monetized, the people that was putting their best energy, effort, and everything forward, when they was telling y'all that, y'all discarded them. Y'all made it seem like it was just them. Some of them, and I'm just being honest, y'all made it seem like it was just them that was complaining about this issue probably some time from now. Some time ago, being talking about it. But since it didn't affect you, and since it didn't hit you, and since you were benefiting off of it, you didn't look at it like, you looked at it as, oh, that person just ain't trying hard enough. Oh, that person ain't that person ain't consistent. Oh, that person ain't this. Oh, this person ain't that. It's just, so basically when they were talking about these same issues, that they won't get no views no matter what they were doing, no matter what they was promoting, no matter what nobody was trying to hear it. And so even under the comment section, right, people were saying people have been complaining that YouTube has been doing the same thing. People are complaining, saying and I'm talking about monetized content creators, saying they're not hardly getting the views they used to get. And don't get me wrong, it's always room for improvement. Hey, things switch up all the time, but at least they have some form of analytics that they can kind of look at to see what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? But when, again, smaller content creators were basically saying the same thing, nobody was really trying to hear them. it was something that we were doing wrong. We weren't consistent enough. And I know I've sounded so repetitive, but it's just like, now that this stuff is affecting you, now that this stuff is affecting your income, basically you're now just seeing basically what the other smaller content creators were talking about the whole entire time. And when they were doing all of that stuff, oh my goodness, it just felt like nobody was trying to hear them. People for a minute were talking about how the algorithm is, but when the smaller content creators use it, that's not monetized. We, if we use that, oh, it's the algorithm, we will look that as, like, quit lying. It's not the algorithm, it's you. That's basically kind of how the approach. They ain't say it word for word. They ain't say it like that, but that's basically what they were trying to say. So, and then another thing, right? So I was on Instagram, and I don't hardly get up there like that, but I was checking out some videos from someone that I follow, and I don't follow really too many people, and I don't follow really too many celebrities. So I follow this this girl. She makes wigs. She makes customized wigs. And she also, actually, I started following her on YouTube first, but she was on Instagram more at the time. So, and basically she's like a motivational speaker too. Now she knows that about herself, but she don't consider that gifting within her. But anyways, long story short, I even was hearing her. She was on live, and she was talking about how she's not really on Instagram like that no more. She's gonna try to get up there. She see Instagram as being kind of like it might be a MySpace within the next 4 years. She just doesn't really like it like that. And the reason why I'm bringing all that up is because, wow, that's really odd to hear from someone who benefited off Instagram. That's really weird to hear from someone that, basically your Instagram page was like a lead magnet to your wigs. And so you basically had some successful experiences with Instagram. So that was kind of like, even hearing someone who is kind of established say that they don't like Instagram, and that the fact that it might be another MySpace within the future. And then somebody was asking, questions. She was doing Q&A, and there was somebody that asked a question about, okay, she was saying that she's going to start a page, start a wig business, and she wants to grow organically, right? And so, what are some tips that she can do? What are some tips she can follow in order to grow organically? Well, and this was very surprising, because normally the lady that customized the wig, she's very positive. She was still positive, but she said she just had to be real. She said, if you want to grow organically in the year 2022, it may not be a good idea. She said, if anybody is still telling you that hashtags works, and listen now, she got a successful business. So she said, if anybody's telling you that hashtags still work, if anybody's telling you that to what's something that just be consistent, if people are still telling you these things, she said that basically it's outdated information, and that you have to pay in order to play. That's basically what she said. You had to pay in order. Basically, you're going to have to collab with somebody. You're going to have to pay somebody to collab. You're going to have to pay for some advertisements. You're going to have to do something that's different, because it's too much competition out here in the year 2022. She said that may have worked back in 2018. She said that may have worked like way back then. But she said now, if you are trying to grow organically without trying to really, I guess, pay to the collab or do something that's out the box, she said that it's going to take about 5 to 10 years for you to see something that you want to see. Now, I agree partially with that. Part of me don't agree with that, of course. The goal is to always to grow organically, but it had me thinking in the conversation. It had me just thinking to myself, like, you know what? There were plenty of times when I was consistent. There were plenty of times when I was posted. There were plenty of times, back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. I mean, of course, now if you see my page, yeah, okay, it's 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but I'm saying when I was in it, when I was up there posting, I didn't see anything. There were no views, no nothing. Even with Instagram, it was the same way over there. So, like I said, a small, content creator that's coming out and saying all these things even back then, and other people also that was experiencing the same thing of not seeing anything. And even the people that were being consistent that wasn't seeing anything, they was just this, like I said earlier, they was just discarded. And they were just told that they weren't being consistent enough. And they were just being told that they weren't doing enough. And they was being told that they weren't putting the right hashtags. And they were just being told that, it is just like, man. So it had me really thinking. Now, the part of me that don't like it is like paying for advertisement. Well, yeah, it's always risky, but you will still have to know your target audience to even do that. Because even then, you'll be shooting in the dark. You know what I'm saying? You'll be aiming in the dark because you still haven't had your audience figured out yet. You still ain't got those basics figured out yet. So paying for advertisement when you don't know who you're going to serve, or you don't know who you're going to cater to, or you don't know who your target audience is, that is kind of, that's very iffy. I feel like that's the move you should make once you know who's your target audience. Okay. But again, it just had me thinking that a lot of people, even the ones that saw success, still seeing success, the ones that were making the money, the successful businesses, successful, for these people to say what the small time content creators been saying for a while about this algorithm. Nobody was trying to hear them when they were talking about it. They were told they weren't being positive enough. It were all kinds of things. But I just want to come out and just say that it takes a whole lot more than just consistency. Some other lady that I was following, I think she just started not too long ago. Somebody was doing a Q&A with her, and I think she has a successful business as well. And they was asking her, what are some things that, that you're doing that's making, and somebody said, please don't say consistency, because it's going to take more than consistency. It got to be somebody interested in the material or the content that you're watching. It got to be something that's drawing them. So it takes, because you could be consistent in posting the wrong thing. Same thing with me, even with Twitter. And I know, and let me just tell you my story. It's like I knew my stuff was fire. And I'm not saying it out of any form of arrogance, boasting, none of that stuff. I knew basically what I had to bring to the table and what I offer, but it would never on any type of platform, whether that's Twitter, whether that was Instagram, it will always be crickets. Always. And it's like, I know, Lord, that this is good. Why is it not getting any notoriety, or why is it not getting the views, or why is it not getting the, and I'm not just talking about with YouTube videos, just with my posts, because I'm a writer first before a YouTuber or anything like that. But it's like, I know it's good. Why is it not getting noticed the way that it should? And how come somebody else can say the same thing, but it's the best thing since sliced bread when they say it? And I know what somebody's going to say, well, that person built their platform, that person built this, that person took the time, that person put in the work, that person, and I get that. That may be true, and salute to them. And again, I will never hate on anybody at all, even if they are doing better than me, winning, and they always constantly seeing stuff. I'm not like that, But I was just thinking like, well, Lord, what makes them so much? Why is it much more why is it so much bigger when they say it? But then when I say it, it's discarded. People just keep scrolling, or they'll like it from someone else. It's like, what's going on? And I haven't run into anyone who talks about that. I haven't really ran into anyone that was dealing with that situation. So that's just something else that I'll be able to speak about, just on my journey. It's like when I said crickets, always crickets. No, I mean nothing, just blank. So it takes a lot of tenacity. It takes a lot of persistence. This stuff is not as easy as everyone is making it sound. But those who endure to the end, that's what's going to count. That's what's going to count if you do not give up. So it's so easy for people to pop up and they saw results and everything was flowing their way. And I know it may not have always been, but in their current season and stages, they're seeing things. Of course, you can be like, do this and do that. Of course, you can be like, but for the person that was kicked down over and over and over and over and over and over, over and over and over and over, they still have to keep rising. They still, it's a blessing that they didn't even shut their page down, give up, and just say, hey, I tried it, I gave it my best. That's a blessing. They ain't did that. So you got to kind of understand, it's not that they don't want more. It's not that they don't want to do more. It's not that they're lazy most of the time. It's not all of these things that they're labeled and categorized. And you got to understand, when God was putting them through the test, he was putting them through extra fire. That stuff that most people that you see in this social media realm, and that's true, you don't know what somebody really went through and experienced. This stuff that you see, it's like, yeah, it can go ahead and happen. Yeah, they could go ahead and see something quickly. Yeah, they can go ahead, because guess what? When God has a higher, bigger responsibility, and that means we still got to do the work. Faith without works is dead. But when he's giving you something much more higher in the future that he has to entrust you with, you're going to go through more of a series of trials. So sometimes the trial, just like with me, you can post something, but people going to act like you're invisible. That person going to say it, that person going to say it, that person going to say it, and people are just going to be falling out and acting like it's just just the biggest deal. And guess what? And ain't no hate from me at all. No hate from me at all. Ever. I always congratulate people. Always congratulate people. And so, again, but I'm just saying that's going to be it. So he's probably running them through extra trials. It's not that they're not working hard enough. Maybe there's a different direction. Maybe there's a different route that he wants them to go. You could be consistent, but it could be consistent in the wrong areas. It could be consistent. Okay, do it the way he wants you to do it. If you don't know how he wants you to do it, not only just ask, but keep on seeking, because you're going to find that answer. Did you hear that? Keep on seeking, because you're going to find that answer. That's the direction that everyone else is going. But what direction is he asking you to go? It's going to work for you, but you're going to have to do things a little bit differently.